welcome to my very first knitting podcast. My name is Catherine, I live in France. I started knitting regularly about 2 years ago. This is Midina, one of my cats, so hi. Where was I? Yes, I started knitting about 2 years ago quite regularly, but before then I did start a few projects about 8 years ago. I think I started with some cowls and a jumper. Since then I've knitted multiple jumpers, a cardigan, some scarves, hats and those kind of projects. And I've been following a lot of knitters on YouTube, on Instagram, and I was inspired to start my own knitting podcast to join the game, to share my experience and my journey with you. So let's see how it goes. Let's start with finished projects. So my most recent finished project is this lovely sweater, the terracotta sweater by Laines Samso. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. So it's a drop-down shoulder construction with really nice color work. Let me just show you a bit more of the color work design. And so I used the recommended yarn in the pattern, so that's the Sandnes Garn Tin Pear Gint. I chose the color 2641. Is Nature Melart. Sorry if I'm looking on right here, I have my notes. And it's 100% Norwegian wool. Norwegian wool, sorry. And I had some drops kid silk left from another project to pair with the Sandnes Garn for the background color. This kid silk is color Marzipan, by the way, and they worked really well together, so it was just perfect. And for the color work, I chose the recommended yarn also, so it's Sandnes Garn. The Tin Pear Gint and the Tin Silk Mohair, both Sandnes Garn, in colorway 3535. It's copper brown, I think. And I don't know, I'm really into terracotta colors, and I just had to do it in this terracotta color for the terracotta sweater. So yeah, these two colors really worked well together. And so it's worked top down. It was the first time I did, no, it wasn't the first time, the second time I did German short rows for the construction of the shoulders. And what I really liked in this pattern was the mix of color work, but also with texture, different textures. So it's not just stockinette stitch with color work, it's got these nice textures mixed into the color work, and I just found it very interesting to try. It's my first actual color work for me. I was a bit afraid of the tension, the difference in tension between the color work and the rest of the sweater. But I watched a bunch of YouTube videos with lots of tips on how to get the tension more or less correct when you do color work, not to knit too tightly, because you tend to knit more tightly when you do color work. And I guess it turned out great. I mean, it looks fine, so I'm really, really pleased with it. For the length of the sleeves, I didn't really know how long I needed to knit, because I like long sleeves, so they turned out great, by the way. I mean, they're like this, but I can easily just put my hands inside of them, and I love that. So I looked on the project, I mean the pattern photos that Lenny Holmes also took, and I kind of guessed that the amount of stockinette stitch we have here is more or less the same as the background color of the sweater here. So I measured this out and I just knitted about the same size. But I think it was about 8 centimeters, if I'm correct. I don't really remember right. So yeah, and it turned out great. I'm really happy with the length. Before blocking, I think it was about here. The sleeves came here, but then after blocking they grew a bit and it was just perfect. I also wasn't sure what size to make the pattern in, because on the pattern photos the model is wearing, it looks like it's more oversized than what the pattern suggests. I mean, it seems that way, I'm not sure. But I think it turned out okay. I don't know, I think I did size XS. I think I have a bust circumference of about 80, a bit more than 80, and I think I did the second size. I mean, the information is on my Ravelry page if you're interested, so you can have a look on my Ravelry page. It's Cat and Stitches. I loved knitting the pattern. It was quite addictive. I started knitting it, I think, early August, and I made a huge progress in August. Then September I didn't really knit that much, so I couldn't finish it. But then in October I managed to finish it just before the Knit and Eat festival in Lyon in France. So I had enough time to block it just before going, because I went and it was great. I'll talk to you a bit about that a bit later on. And yeah, and I love the yarn. It was my first time using Sandnes Garn Tin Per Gint, and I just find it very squishy and light and very warm, and yeah, I just love it. So my next finished project, so I finished this project this summer, just before casting on the terracotta sweater. So it's the Beaufort 5 cardigan by Isabelle Kramer. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that completely wrong. So I knit this in De Rerum Natura Ulysse. Must have some yarn left somewhere. I chose the colorway Poivre Blanc. So it's this light grey with some slight darker speckles of grey in it. So it's a really, really nice colour. I really like it. I'm very happy I chose this one. It's really nice. And so what I liked about this pattern was the really nice texture we have that goes in front, and the front and the back panel. And it's really, really easy to do. I mean, yeah, you could knit this mindlessly. It's really easy to do. And then the sleeves are just plain stockinette stitch. And you have some ribbing on the edges. So I find that the yarn is a bit scratchy, I have to say. It's 100% wool, French and Portuguese wool. So De Rerum Natura is a French yarn company, and it was my first time using this yarn too, and it was really nice to knit up. I liked it. But I think I knit maybe, I don't know if I got my gauge correct or not, but I find that maybe I should have gone up a needle size. I think I went down a needle size to hit the gauge, recommended gauge, but I think that the stitches are quite tight. I think it would have been nicer if it was a bit more loose. Anyway, I still like it. It's very nice. I love the color. It was my first time doing an I-cord edging. It goes around all the border in front, and it was quite tricky at first. It's very long to do. I have to be honest. But I mean, it was an experience. The only thing, I had one problem with the cardigan, is I made the mistake to cast off the body with a normal cast off. I mean, I didn't do the an Italian cast off, you know, where you have this nice pearl and knit cast off, so that it corresponds to the 1x1 ribbing. I didn't do that. I don't know why. I just did a basic cast off, which was a huge mistake because it's not stretchy at all. And I just put it on and I pulled on the sides just to like pull it over me, and the yarn broke. And that's the first time it ever happened to me. So what did I do? Well, I did what I could. I managed to take all the yarn off of the cast off, and it broke at the very end of the I-cord edging, so I didn't have a lot of yarn to work with, but I had some yarn left, so that was great. So I just did a knot and then redid the cast off, but this time with an Italian style cast off, and now it's nice and stretchy. And I have no problem with it. But yeah, you can see it here inside at the end. I have all these little teeny tiny yarn bits poking out. That's where I had to do lots of knots and figure out how to weave in my teeny tiny ends. Well, I haven't had any problem yet with it, so fingers crossed. Yeah, so that's really nice too. I'm really happy with this. It's my first cardigan also. What else? My other finished object. I have another finished object. Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna. I showed them on Instagram, so I suppose I can show them. But they're a gift knit. But I don't think the person who I'm going to gift them to is going to watch this anyway, so it's okay. So my last finished object are these nice red panny gloves by Petite Knit. They're really nice. I'm really impressed with the pattern, because it's really, I mean, it's one size for all. I think there's no difference, no sizes, it's just one size, but it works up really well and it fits really well. I did try another pattern, but it was really tight here around the hand and the thumb, and it was horrible. So I frogged it all and started again and chose the penny gloves, and I'm really happy I did that because they're perfect. I used, so this is what I have left of the yarn. It's a really nice red, so the person I'm gifting the mittens to loves red, so this is perfect. So the yarn I used is Laines du Valgaud de Mar, a French company, so I'll put all the names down in the description. and you can find all of the information on my Ravelry page anyway. So the yarn is Sable, so it's 70% Merino from France and Angora from France too. And the colorway is Tango. And they're really soft, so the Angora makes them really, really soft. They're just great. And I hope the person I'm knitting them for will love them. So let's move on to current works in progress. So my first work in progress is another cardigan for me. So this is inside out. No, this is the right way. So this is where I'm at, and it looks a lot brighter on camera. It's a bit darker in real life. I don't know if you can. Yeah, this is better. This is more or less the color. It's a really deep red. I'm loving the color. So it's the Oversized Seasons cardigan by Ozetta, and it's made, so it's a raglan, sorry. It's a raglan construction, and you knit the button band. It's the first time I've done this construction, but you knit the button band at the same time but also separately. Makes sense. Normally you should use DPNs for this, but I don't have any, so I'm just using interchangeable needles because I have 2 pairs of this size. So on a smaller size needle you knit the button band, and then on some circular needles you knit the body in a half fisherman's rib. So you can see that I joined. So I finished the raglan. I joined on the underarms, at the underarm, anyway, and yeah. So I did that much. I did my first buttonhole. So it's the first time I did a buttonhole. I'm scared it's going to be too small for the buttons. I have to be honest. I tried to cast off as loosely as possible, and cast on as loosely as possible too. So we'll see how it goes. I really love the color of the yarn. I did not use the suggested yarn because I couldn't find it in this color, and I absolutely wanted this color because I saw this cardigan on, what's the name? Cézanne. Sorry, my mind just went blank. I saw this lovely cardigan on Cézanne, the Émile cardigan, and it was this, it resembled this color. It was a really nice deep red, Bordeaux red, but I don't really like the construction of their cardigan here. I wanted like a V-neck one. So I looked around and found the Oversized Seasons cardigan pattern, which was perfect. The suggested yarn, I can't remember what that was, but I tried coming up with a yarn combination that would possibly work, and I found this Cascade Yarns 220. And look at that red, it's just gorgeous. It's actually a bit darker than on camera in real life. Like, yeah, a bit dark. And I thought it was a bit too dark, so I wanted to mix it with some Sadness Garn Tin Silk Mohair. And I tried that out. I started knitting it with this, and it just felt a bit weird. It was too heavy, and it wasn't as not fluffy, that's not the word, squishy and light as I was expecting. So I searched everywhere online for a yarn that would correspond more or less to the weight recommended in that deep red color, and I couldn't find any. I couldn't find anything at all until I went to my yarn shop, my local yarn shop, and found this. She didn't have a lot of skeins left. It was her last skeins, and I think that this yarn is discontinued. I'm not sure. It's the Wool Addicts by Lang Yarns Air in a deep red color. So I think the color number is 62. Might have to check that out. And it's great. I mean, look at it. It's squishy. It's light. It's perfect. So yeah, so I'm really happy I found that yarn. I mean, I just stumbled upon it and it was great. So yeah, what can I say about this pattern? Yeah, I had a lot of problems with the raglan and the half fisherman's rib. It was very complicated for me, for my brain to get the half fisherman's rib right with the raglan increases. I don't know why, but my brain couldn't process it. So what I did is I created a chart to visualize if I had to purl or knit before and after the raglan increases. Because I don't know, my brain just couldn't do it because it was always changing. It was just too confusing for my brain, so I had to see it. You know, I'm a very visual person, and so I just created on an Excel sheet a pattern, not a pattern, a chart, and it made life a lot easier. So yeah, I haven't made a huge progress on it. I'm trying to pick it up as soon as, yeah, whenever I can, but I was concentrating on finishing these in time for gifting them, and also because of my second work in progress, which is a Kodama scarf by NCL Knits. So let me just, yeah, I don't know if you can see it, so it's not blocked or anything, but here you go. It's really nice. And this beautiful yarn I found at Knit & Co. It's so soft, and look, it's just really flowy. I love it. So yeah, this is a gift knit for another birthday, and I have to explain to you. I'm gonna make this scarf another 2 times, possibly 3, but 2 for sure. So this is the first one, and I'm using this yarn, this beautiful pink yarn from Aitana Villa, hand-dyed yarn, and it's the Rosalind yarn. So it's 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk, 10% cashmere, and it's a fingering weight, and the colorway is Brazil, and it's just gorgeous. And yeah, with the cashmere and the silk, it's just really soft and it's just gorgeous. So what can I say about this pattern? I did have a big problem at the very beginning. Well, actually 2 problems. So the first one, no, 1 problem and 1 mistake. So the problem was I could not understand how to do the first rows, because you have to start an I-cord edge. I don't know if you can see. You have to start an I-cord edging, but with a provisional cast on, and I had never done that before. So I mixed 2 YouTube videos together to really understand and to get it right. The provisional cast on, which I never did before, and then the beginning of the I-cord edging. Maybe I can link both videos in the description if it can help someone, because I was stuck on this and I just couldn't understand it, and I had to do it a few times to finally get it right. Apart from that, apart from that, it's really easy. It's a really easy knit, and once you've done the pattern a few times, it just comes to you easily. So my mistake now was a rookie mistake. So it's knitted flat, and I don't know why, but my brain didn't realize that, yeah, you have to knit on the right side. You have, this symbol means knit and this symbol means purl, and on the wrong side, the same symbol that meant purl on the right side means knit on the wrong side. But I don't know, my brain just went, that's the symbol for purl, that's the symbol for knit, so I'm going to knit all those symbols on the wrong side and the right side the same, and it just looked a mess. I can show you some pictures I put on Instagram, and it's just horrible. It doesn't look like anything, and I was wondering, this is weird, I can't recognize the pattern, I don't understand, it's just weird. And then at one moment I just went tilt, went, oh no, I've been doing this all wrong. So I started again, and now it's perfect. And now it really looks like something, and it looks like the pattern. Oh yeah, so this is your reminder to really read your patterns completely, and yeah, every detail is important. So the pattern is very interesting when you have one skein. You can adapt the pattern to your yarn, or how much yarn you have left, which is really great actually. So yeah, so I'm nearly finished. It's going faster and faster now. I'm doing the decreases, but it's really nice. I can't wait to get it blocked so we can really see the pattern. It's really going to be really nice. So I have 2 more Kodama scarves I want to knit, and I think this is a great transition. This is a great transition into yarn purchases, because I went to the Knit & Co festival in Lyon beginning of October, or mid-October, and it was my first knitting or yarn festival, sorry, and it was really great, and I couldn't stop myself, and I just overspent. I mean, I didn't have a budget, but there was so much beautiful yarn. So I'm going to start by showing you the yarn I'm going to use for the 2 other Kodama scarves. So the first one is this one, this nice peach colour yarn. It doesn't have much variation in colour in this one. So it's from Irish Fairytale yarns, and it's the Merino in 100% Merino, colour peach. So this one's going to be a Kodama scarf, and this one's going to be a Kodama scarf too. So it's a really nice brown with some variations, some darker parts, some lighter parts. So the person I'm going to knit this scarf chose this colour. So she chose the yarn she wanted for her gift knit. And this is the Lubyloon, sorry, no, this is from Lubyloon. It's the Meriny yarn, so it's a fingering 4-ply, and it's 85% merino superwash and 15% nylon, so a sock yarn. And the colorway is unique. It's really nice. I also found 3 other skeins at the Knit & Co festival. So this one is quite special. Actually, it's the first stand I stopped at had this yarn, and I saw it and I went, oh my god, that's beautiful. I have to have it. I just had to buy it. I mean, it's my colors. I mean, it's green, this dark green bluish color with some specks of orange and some white and some yellow and some darker specks of like brown in it, and it's just perfect. It's just magnificent. So they're all in cakes now, but I might put a picture of the not the skein, the écheveau in French. Can't remember the name. I'll put it down. It was just gorgeous. So it's from Eline. So it's also a French hand-dyed yarn. It's the Tabi yarn. So it's 75% merino superwash and 25% nylon. And the colorway is Les Yeux de la Chouette. So that translates into owl eyes. And it's gorgeous. I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. Maybe I'll knit another Kodama scarf, or maybe I'll try something else. I don't know what to do with it. I don't actually know what it would look like. I have to make a gauge swatch to see how the colors will work out in the stockinette stitch. Yeah, that might help actually. So I have 2 more yarns to show you. So I actually so this was in October, and Socktober was like going on, and I was inspired or tempted to knit up some socks. I've never knit socks before, and I saw the rhubarb and custard socks by Zenit Knits and really liked the pattern, and also she has a full YouTube video explaining how to knit them, like every step, and that's why I was tempted to start my own socks. And so I had this idea, and I found this really nice dark pink purplish yarn with some specks of orange and deep purple. I think you might see it here, deep purple, and some yellow also. It's really nice. I thought it would be perfect for the socks. And this is from TréLiz. So it's Yama in colorway Cardinal. And so it's 70% superwash merino, and also 20% yak and 10% nylon. Yeah. And it's just, I love the color. And I wanted to pair it with a cream color. And so I found this really nice cream yarn. So I didn't realize it when I bought it, but it's a single ply. And I realized that when I caked it up, because the first time I went a bit too hard on it and it broke the yarn, but only at the beginning, so I didn't lose anything. It was okay. But because I broke it, I was wondering, maybe it's not a good idea to use this for socks, because I'm afraid it's going to break or wear really easily. I don't know. So the yarn is from the woolly skein. It's a single lady, so it's 100% superwash merino, and so it's a single ply, and the colorway is beach. And I love the colorway. I mean, it's really, yeah, it's a yellowy creamy color. I love it, and I think that the two together would work out really nice. Yeah. Sorry for the transition, my battery died. So I was saying, I'm not sure I want to knit socks because I'm afraid they would get damaged easily while wearing them, and I think I'm going to use the yarn for another project instead. It's getting quite cold here right now, and I've been looking a lot at some mittens, some colourwork mittens. I might put a picture up here just to show you an example. I think that these yarns would be perfect for a colourwork mitten project. So I'll keep you informed, and I might talk to you about them in another podcast if I cast them on soon. We'll see. Well, thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed my first podcast. It was a new experience to film myself and talk about knitting, my projects and everything. And yeah, I hope I wasn't rambling too much. Please let me know in the comments what you're currently working on. So yeah, see you in the next one.